Imagine waking each morning with a heart so calm, it feels like the world is whispering peace to you. Your mind is steady, unswayed by yesterday's noise or tomorrow's worries. You rise not chasing time, but moving with it like a river flowing effortlessly. The faces around you glow with warmth. Your work carries purpose, and even life's challenges feel like gentle ripples rather than crashing waves. This isn't a dream reserved for sages on mountaintops or the fortunate few who stumble upon it. This is within reach, a quiet truth. Buddhism offers a practical, timeless path to lasting joy. But let's face it, finding peace in today's world can feel like catching moonlight in a jar. We're surrounded by pressures, deadlines, piling up expectations, weighing heavy, endless notifications, tugging at our attention. Even when life seems fine on the surface, there's often a quiet ache inside, a sense of being unmoored. So how do we find an anchor when everything feels like it's in constant flux? The answer lies not in reshaping the world, but in reshaping how we meet it. Buddhism teaches a profound truth. Happiness doesn't come from what happens to us, but from how we respond. Joy isn't about controlling life's chaos. It's about transforming how we engage with it. Picture a rough day. You're exhausted, frustrations piling up like storm clouds. But in the middle of it, you pause. You take a slow, deep breath, and in that moment, you recall a simple Buddhist teaching: this too shall pass. Something softens inside you. The moment, no matter how heavy, is fleeting. It doesn't own you. In that breath, you shift not the world around you, but the world within. Peace isn't something you chase. It's something you return to, always waiting beneath the layers of worry and distraction. This is the quiet power of Buddhist wisdom. It doesn't promise a flawless life, but equips you to face an imperfect one with clarity, grace, and strength. Let's start where Buddhism begins, with the first noble truth, the acknowledgement of suffering. It's not a grim statement, but an honest one. Life brings pain, not because we've failed, but because change, loss, and uncertainty are woven into existence. We feel the weight of stress, the sting of loss, the unease of an uncertain tomorrow. We chase happiness like it's just over the horizon, only to find it slipping further away. But here's the paradox: facing suffering head-on is the first step to freedom. Buddhism doesn't ask us to dwell in negativity. It invites us to see clearly with courage. Suffering comes not just from pain itself, but from how we resist it, clinging to what's slipping away, denying what hurts, or running from discomfort. In a world of impermanence where relationships shift, bodies age, and moments fade, our attachment to things staying the same is what often breaks us. Think about it. How often do we push pain away? We scroll through our phones, binge a show, or bury ourselves in tasks to avoid the ache. But suppressed pain doesn't vanish. It festers like a wave held back only to crash harder later. What if instead we met it? Imagine sitting with your discomfort, naming it, without judgment, letting it breathe. You're not wallowing, you're making soup for healing. When we stop fighting pain and start understanding it, its grip loosens. This isn't about giving up. It's about liberation. By facing suffering with mindfulness, we begin to see it for what it is: temporary, not defining. This is the revolution Buddhism sparks, not escaping pain, but moving through it with awareness and compassion. Now let's bring this closer to home. Modern life is a whirlwind: work, social media, endless to-dos. It's easy to feel like we're drowning in demands, but Buddhism offers a lifeline by understanding suffering as part of the human experience We stop blaming ourselves for feeling it. We're not failing when we struggle. We're human. The path forward isn't about chasing a perfect pain-free life, but about finding peace in the present, no matter what it holds. Start small. Notice when you're resisting discomfort. Maybe it's frustration in traffic or anxiety about a deadline. Instead of pushing it away, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Name it, let it be, and watch it soften. This is mindfulness in action, a simple yet radical shift. Try this journal about a moment of impermanence in your life, something you've lost, or something that's changed. Reflect on what it taught you, or repeat a daily mantra. I accept life's flow. I choose peace over resistance. These small practices rewire how you relate to life's ups and downs. Suffering isn't the enemy. Our resistance to it is. By meeting it with curiosity instead of fear, you begin to transform it. This is the heart of the Buddhist path, not a distant ideal, but a living practice, one breath at a time. You're not running from pain or chasing happiness. You're learning to live wisely, rooted in the present, where peace has always been waiting. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about showing up again and again with openness. Whether you're navigating a storm or simply seeking more calm in your daily life, Buddhism offers tools to anchor you. It's a path of transformation, not escape. And it starts with understanding that suffering is universal, but so is the potential for peace. Let's keep walking together, exploring how this ancient wisdom lights the way in our modern world, so we've faced the truth of suffering, its presence in our lives, not as a punishment, but as part of being human. Now let's dig deeper into what fuels it. Buddhism points to a root cause, our craving, our clinging, our resistance to life's natural flow. The second noble truth tells us that suffering arises from tanha, desire, attachment, and the illusion that we can hold life still. It's not just wanting material things like a bigger house or a better job. It's the subtler cravings for approval, for control, for things to stay the same. These desires pull us out of the present, tethering us to a cycle of discontent. But here's the good news. Understanding this cause is the first step to loosening its grip. Let's explore how this plays out in our everyday lives and how we can start to shift. Picture yourself standing by a serene lake, the water reflecting the sky. Everything calm. You feel grounded, connected. Then your mind wanders. You think about a missed opportunity, a relationship that's changed, or a goal you haven't reached. Suddenly, the peace fades. The lake is still there unchanged, but your inner calm is gone. This is what desire does. It hijacks the moment, turning contentment into lack. We're not suffering because the world shifted. We're suffering because our thoughts did. The Buddha taught that desire, attachment, and ignorance keep us trapped in this cycle, chasing what we don't have or clinging to what we can't keep. Let's make it real. Think about a time you felt disappointed. Maybe you didn't get the promotion you wanted, or a friendship drifted apart. The pain didn't come from the event alone, but from your attachment to how things should be. You wanted the job to define your worth, or you clung to the idea that the friendship would never change. This is tanha at work, craving for outcomes, for permanence in a world that's always moving. The more we grip, the more we hurt when life inevitably shifts. But what if we could meet these moments differently? Not by numbing the pain or chasing a fix, but by softening our hold, by letting life flow. Buddhism doesn't ask us to stop wanting things altogether. That's not the point. Desire isn't inherently bad. It's the clinging that causes suffering. Imagine admiring a beautiful sunset. You're fully present, savoring its colors, its fleeting beauty. Then you start thinking, I wish I could keep this moment forever. That thought pulls you out of joy and into longing. The sunset hasn't changed, but your experience has. The practice here is to notice the craving and gently let it go. You don't stop loving the sunset. You just stop needing to possess it. This is the shift from attachment to appreciation, from suffering to peace. Now let's bring this into daily life. Our world is full of triggers for desire, social media showing perfect lives ads, promising happiness through purchases, even our own inner voice whispering, if only I had this, I'd be okay. These fuel a sense of lack, making us feel we're not enough as we are. But Buddhism offers a different lens. What if you're already whole? What if happiness isn't in the next achievement or possession, but in this moment, right now? Try this. Next time you feel that pull of wanting, whether it's for approval, success, or something else, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this craving serving me, or is it pulling me away from peace? This simple act of awareness creates space to choose differently. Another layer of suffering comes from resisting change. We want our bodies to stay young, our relationships to stay steady, our plans to unfold perfectly. But life is impermanent, anicca. And fighting that truth only deepens our pain. Think about aging. We notice a new wrinkle or a slower step, and it can spark fear or regret. But what if we saw these as signs of a life lived, not lost? Buddhism invites us to embrace impermanence not as a threat, but as a teacher. Every change, every loss, every shift is a chance to practice letting go, to return to the present where peace lives. Here's a practice to try reflect on something you're holding on to tightly, a goal, a grudge, an idea of who you should be. Write it down and ask, what happens if I loosen my grip? You don't have to let go completely, just create a little room. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for a past mistake, or accepting that a relationship has changed. Each time you release a bit of attachment, you make space for clarity. You start to see that happiness isn't in controlling life, but in flowing with it, meeting each moment with openness instead of resistance. This isn't about becoming detached in a cold, uncaring way. Buddhist detachment is warm-rooted in compassion. It's about loving deeply without needing to control, appreciating without needing to possess. Imagine loving someone without expecting them to stay the same forever. You cherish them as they are in this moment, knowing they'll change just as you will. This kind of love is freeing. It doesn't bind you to suffering when things shift. It's a love that says, I see you, I value you, and I let you be. In our fast-paced world, this practice feels radical. We're taught to chase to achieve, to hold tight to what we want. But Buddhism whispers a quieter truth. Peace comes not from getting, but from releasing. Start small. Notice when you're clinging to a thought, a feeling of fear. Breathe through it. Let it soften. You might repeat a mantra. I release what I cannot control. I choose peace. Over time, these moments of awareness build a new habit, not of craving, but of presence. You begin to live not in reaction to what you lack, but in harmony with what is. This is the heart of the second noble truth. Suffering has a cause, and we can work with it. By seeing our desires clearly, by understanding our attachments, we start to untangle the knots that keep us trapped. It's not a quick fix, but a gentle, steady practice. Each time you choose awareness over craving, presence over resistance, you take a step toward freedom. You're not erasing desire, you're learning to hold it lightly, to let life unfold without needing to control every turn. This is where peace begins to grow, not out there, but right here in the heart of this moment. Now that we've explored the root of suffering, our cravings and attachments, let's turn to the light at the end of the tunnel, the possibility of freedom. The third noble truth in Buddhism offers a radiant promise: suffering can end. This isn't about erasing life's challenges or living in a bubble of constant bliss. It's about transforming how we relate to pain, finding a peace so steady that no storm can shake it. Imagine a mind like a clear sky. Clouds of worry or frustration may pass through, but they don't define the vastness beneath. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. The end of suffering isn't an escape from life, but a homecoming to peace within it. Let's walk through how this truth unfolds and how we can start living it today. Picture a moment when you're caught in a spiral of stress. Maybe a work deadline looms, or a personal loss weighs heavy. Your thoughts race, emotions churn, and peace feels miles away. But what if, in that moment, you could pause and find a stillness beneath the chaos? Buddhism teaches that peace isn't something we need to create. It's already there, waiting to be uncovered. The end of suffering comes when we stop fueling the cycle of craving and resistance. It's about letting go of the need to control life's flow, and instead meeting it with clarity and acceptance. This shift doesn't make challenges disappear, but it changes their power over us. The third noble truth tells us that nirvana, the cessation of suffering, is possible, but don't let the word intimidate you. Nirvana isn't some distant mystical state reserved for enlightened masters. It's a quality of mind, a way of being that we can touch in small moments every day. It's the peace you feel when you let go of a grudge, the calm that washes over you when you stop chasing more, the quiet joy of being fully present. These moments are glimpses of freedom, proof that suffering doesn't have to rule us. By practicing mindfulness and compassion, we can cultivate this freedom, making it a steady presence in our lives. Let's ground this in something practical. Think about a daily frustration, like being stuck in a long line at the store. Your instinct might be to fume, to think, "This is wasting my time. Why does this always happen?" That resistance fuels suffering. Now imagine a different approach. You take a deep breath, notice the tension in your body, and let it soften. You look around, maybe you smile at the person next to you, or listen to the hum of life around you. The line hasn't moved faster, but your experience has shifted. You're no longer fighting the moment, you're in it. This is the end of suffering in action, not changing the situation, but changing how you meet it. Mindfulness is the key that unlocks this freedom. It's the practice of being fully here now, without judgment. When we're mindful, we step out of the autopilot of worry and reactivity. We notice our thoughts. I'm stressed, I'm angry, but we don't let them define us. Instead, we become the observer, watching the storm pass without being swept away. Try this next time you feel overwhelmed. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths and focus on the sensation of air moving through you. Notice what's happening in your mind and body without trying to fix it. This simple act pulls you back to the present, where peace lives. Compassion is the other pillar of this path. It starts with yourself. We're often our own harshest critics, beating ourselves up for mistakes, or feeling like we're not enough. But what if you could meet yourself with kindness instead? Imagine you've had a tough day. Maybe you snapped at someone or missed a goal. Instead of spiraling into self-blame, try saying to yourself, It's okay. I'm human, and I'm learning. This self-compassion softens the edges of pain, creating space for healing. And when we're kind to ourselves, it becomes easier to extend that kindness to others, seeing their struggles as part of the shared human experience. Here's a practice to weave into your day. At the end of each day, reflect on a moment when you felt challenged. Write down what happened, how you reacted, and how you might meet it differently with mindfulness or compassion. Maybe you got frustrated in traffic. Could you have taken a breath and let it go? Or perhaps you felt hurt by someone's words. Could you have seen their actions as a reflection of their own struggles, not a judgment of you? This reflection isn't about perfection. It's about growth, about training your mind to choose peace over struggle. Buddhism teaches that the end of suffering isn't a one-time event, but a process, a gradual unfolding. Each time you choose presence over distraction, kindness over judgment, you're stepping closer to freedom. It's like tending a garden. You don't force the flowers to bloom, but you water them, clear the weeds, and give them light. Over time, the garden thrives. Your mind is that garden, and mindfulness and compassion are the tools to nurture it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up again and again with intention. Let's talk about impermanence again, because it's central to this truth. Everything changes: our emotions, our circumstances, even our bodies. Resisting this creates suffering. Embracing it creates peace. Think about a time you lost something, a job, a friendship, a dream. The pain came not just from the loss, but from clinging to what was. Now imagine meeting that loss differently, acknowledging the hurt, but also seeing it as part of life's flow. You let go, not because you don't care, but because you trust that life will bring new moments, new joys. This is the liberation of the third noble truth, knowing that suffering ends when we stop fighting reality. Try this mantra to anchor yourself. I release what I cannot hold. I rest in this moment. Say it when you feel pulled into worry or regret. It's a reminder that peace isn't found by controlling life, but by flowing with it. You're not erasing pain, you're transforming it. Each time you choose to let go, to be present, you're cultivating a mind that can weather any storm. This is the path to nirvana. In daily life, not a distant goal, but a living practice available right now. As we move forward, know that this freedom is yours to claim. It's not about becoming someone else or achieving some grand state. It's about returning to who you already are, whole present, capable of peace. The challenges of life won't vanish, but their power over you can. With each mindful breath, each compassionate choice, you're rewriting your relationship with suffering. You're stepping into a life where peace isn't just a fleeting moment, but a steady presence, a quiet home you can always return to. We've seen that suffering can end not by escaping life's challenges, but by transforming how we meet them. Now let's explore the map that guides us there, the fourth noble truth, the Eightfold Path. This isn't a rigid rulebook or a lofty ideal for monks alone. It's a practical living guide for you and me right here in the mess and beauty of daily life. The Eightfold Path is like a compass for living with intention, aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with peace and clarity. It's not about perfection, but about practice, a steady, gentle way to cultivate a life of meaning and calm. Let's break it down step by step and see how it fits into our modern world. First, we start with right view. This is about seeing life as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. It's recognizing that suffering and joy coexist, that everything is impermanent, sanicca, and that our actions have consequences. Imagine you're stressed about a work project going wrong. Right view reminds you this moment is temporary, and your frustration doesn't define you. It's like stepping back to see the bigger picture, a clear lens that helps you navigate challenges without getting lost in them. Try this when you're caught in a tough moment. Pause and ask, what's really happening here? Is this permanent or will it pass? This simple shift in perspective can ground you, bringing calm where chaos once reigned. Next comes right intention. This is about aligning your heart with kindness and compassion. It's choosing to act not from selfishness or anger, but from a desire to do good for yourself and others. Think about a time you snapped at someone out of irritation. Right intention asks you to pause and choose a different motive, one rooted in understanding. Maybe instead of reacting, you take a breath and respond with patience. It's not about being perfect, but about setting an intention to act with care. Try this daily practice before a conversation or decision. Ask yourself, is my intention kind? Does it bring peace? Small shifts like this ripple outward, softening your interactions and your heart. Then we have right speech. Our words carry immense power. They can heal or harm, build bridges or walls. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and with purpose. In a world of quick texts and heated comments, it's easy to speak without thinking, to gossip or criticize. But imagine choosing words that uplift instead. Picture a moment when you're tempted to vent frustration. Instead, you pause, breathe, and say something constructive, or stay silent. That choice creates peace, not just for you, but for everyone involved. A practice to try before speaking. Ask, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This filter transforms conversations, making them a source of connection rather than conflict. Right action follows, urging us to live with integrity. This means acting in ways that don't harm others, whether through honesty, kindness, or respect. It's not about grand gestures, but small, deliberate choices, helping a neighbor, being truthful in a tough situation, or choosing not to lash out. Think of a time you did something kind, even if it was small, like holding a door or listening to a friend. That feeling of alignment, of living your values, is right action in practice. Try this each day. Commit to one small act of kindness. Notice how it feels to align your actions with your heart. It's like planting seeds of peace that grow over time. Right livelihood asks us to consider how we earn our living. It's not about quitting your job, but about ensuring your work aligns with your values. Does your work harm others, or does it contribute to well-being? Even in a tough job, you can practice right livelihood by bringing compassion to your tasks, maybe mentoring a colleague or creating something meaningful. Reflect on your work. Does it reflect my values? How can I bring more purpose to it? Even small shifts like focusing on how your work helps others can make it feel more fulfilling. This isn't about perfection, but about intention, about making your daily efforts a reflection of your deeper purpose. These first 5 steps of the Eightfold Path, right view, intention, speech, action, and livelihood, are about how we engage with the world. They're not abstract ideals, but practical tools for living with clarity and kindness. Let's make it real. Imagine you're having a tough day. You're late, stressed, and someone cuts you off in traffic. Without the path, You might react with anger, letting it spill into your words or actions. But with these steps, you pause. You see the moment clearly. Right view. Choose kindness over frustration. Right intention. Speak calmly or not at all. Right speech. Act with restraint. Right action and carry that mindfulness into your work. Right livelihood. Suddenly a bad moment doesn't define your day. It becomes a chance to practice peace. This path isn't about being flawless. It's about progress, about returning to these principles when you stray. Try this practice at the end of your day. Reflect on one moment where you could have applied one of these steps. Maybe you spoke harshly. How could right speech have changed that? Or maybe you acted impulsively. How could right action have shifted the outcome? Write it down, not to judge yourself, but to learn. This reflection builds awareness, helping you align more closely with peace each day. The Eightfold Path is like a riverbed guiding the flow of your life. It's not about forcing yourself to be someone else, but about uncovering the clarity and compassion already within you. In our busy world, these practices feel radical, pausing to see clearly, choosing kindness, acting with purpose. But they're also deeply human, reminding us that peace isn't found in chasing external goals, but in how we live each moment. As we move forward, we'll explore the final 3 steps: right effort, mindfulness, and concentration, which turn inward, cultivating the mind and heart to sustain this path. For now, let's carry these first 5 steps with us, letting them shape our days with intention and grace. We've walked through the first 5 steps of the Eightfold Path, learning how to align our view, intentions, words, actions, and work with clarity and kindness. Now let's turn inward to the final 3 steps: right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, which cultivate the mind and heart, anchoring us in peace even when life feels like a storm. These steps are less about how we interact with the world and more about how we nurture our inner world, building a foundation for lasting joy. They're not lofty ideals, but practical tools like tending a garden within you. Let's explore how these steps can transform your daily life, bringing you closer to the freedom Buddhism promises. Right effort is about directing your energy with purpose. It's the quiet determination to cultivate positive thoughts and let go of those that drag you down. Think of your mind as a river. Sometimes it flows with clarity. Sometimes it's muddied by worry, anger, or distraction. Right effort is choosing to steer toward clarity not by force, but by steady practice. Imagine you're caught in a loop of self-doubt thinking, "I'm not good enough." Right effort means noticing that thought, gently challenging it, and redirecting your mind towards something kind like, "I'm doing my best, and that's enough." It's not about perfection, but persistence. Try this when a negative thought arises. Pause and replace it with a positive one. Maybe write down 3 things you're grateful for each day to shift your focus. This small effort builds a habit of mental clarity over time. Next is right mindfulness, the heart of Buddhist practice. It's about being fully present right here, right now, without judgment. In our fast-paced world, we're often lost in the past or future, regretting yesterday's mistakes or worrying about tomorrow's uncertainties. Mindfulness pulls you back to this moment, the only place life actually happens. Picture yourself drinking a cup of tea. Instead of scrolling your phone or planning your day, you notice the warmth of the cup, the aroma, the taste. That's mindfulness, fully experiencing the ordinary, finding richness in the simple. Try this practice. Set aside 5 minutes today focus on your breath. Notice the air moving in and out, the rise and fall of your chest. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This trains you to stay present, even in chaos, creating a calm center you can always return to. Right concentration is the final step, the art of focusing your mind deeply and steadily. It's like tuning a radio to a clear signal, cutting through the static of distraction. In meditation, this might mean focusing on your breath, or a mantra, letting thoughts come and go without getting caught in them. But right concentration isn't just for sitting on a cushion. It's about bringing that focus to life. Think of a time you were completely absorbed in something, maybe painting, writing, or listening to a friend. You weren't scattered. You were alive, present. That's the essence of right concentration. To practice, try a simple meditation. Sit quietly for 10 minutes, focusing on your breath. When your mind drifts, gently return to it. Over time, this builds a mind that's steady, not swayed by every passing thought or emotion. These 3 steps, effort, mindfulness, and concentration, work together like a tripod, stabilizing your inner world. Right effort keeps your mind on track. Right mindfulness keeps you present. And right concentration deepens your focus. Together, they create a mental clarity that lets you meet life's challenges with grace. Imagine a stressful day at work. Deadlines, looming emails piling up. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause, mindfulness, redirect your energy to calm effort and focus on one task at a time. Concentration. The stress doesn't vanish, but it loses its grip. You're no longer a victim of the chaos, you're navigating it. Let's make this practical. Our modern lives are full of distractions, phones buzzing, to-do lists, growing thoughts, racing. These pull us away from presence, making peace feel elusive. But the Eightfold Path offers a way back. Try this daily routine. Start your morning with 5 minutes of mindfulness, just noticing your breath or the sounds around you. Throughout the day, when you feel scattered, pause and ask, what's pulling me away? How can I return to this moment? Before bed, reflect on one moment where you applied right effort. Maybe you chose patience over frustration. These small practices weave the path into your life, making it less a philosophy and more a way of being. The beauty of the Eightfold Path is its accessibility. You don't need to retreat to a monastery or master meditation overnight. It's about small, intentional steps, choosing kindness, staying present, focusing your mind. Each step strengthens the others, like threads in a tapestry, creating a life that feels aligned, purposeful, and calm. Think of a moment when you felt truly at peace, maybe a quiet walk or a heartfelt conversation. That's the path in action, not a distant goal, but a living reality. You're not chasing happiness. You're cultivating it moment by moment. This path also reminds us that we're not alone. Our efforts ripple outward, touching others in ways we may never see. When you practice right effort, choosing kindness over anger, it softens your interactions. When you're mindful, you listen more deeply, making others feel seen. When you concentrate, you bring clarity to your work, inspiring those around you. The Eightfold Path isn't just about personal peace. It's about creating a world where compassion and presence spread. Try this. Do one mindful act of kindness today, like truly listening to someone without planning your response. Notice how it feels, how it shifts the energy between you. As we walk this path, we start to see that happiness isn't about erasing challenges, but about meeting them differently. The Eightfold Path doesn't promise a perfect life. It offers something better, a way to live with wisdom no matter what comes. It's a practice, not a destination, and every step counts. So today ask yourself, where can I bring more effort, mindfulness, or focus? Maybe it's pausing before reacting, savoring a small moment, or letting go of a distracting thought. Each choice is a step toward freedom, a step toward a life where peace isn't just a fleeting moment, but a steady presence. We've journeyed through the Eightfold Path, a guide that shapes our actions, words, and thoughts into a life of clarity and peace. Now let's bring this wisdom closer to the heart of modern life, where challenges like comparison, distraction, and the pressure to keep up can pull us away from presence. Buddhism offers a powerful antidote: compassion over comparison, a shift that frees us from the trap of measuring ourselves against others. In a world buzzing with social media, endless achievements, and curated lives, this teaching feels like a breath of fresh air. Let's explore how to let go of comparison and embrace compassion, creating a life rooted in authentic joy. Picture scrolling through your phone, seeing someone's perfect vacation photos or a colleague's latest promotion. That familiar pang hits. Why isn't my life like that? Comparison creeps in, whispering that you're not enough, that happiness lies in matching someone else's story. But Buddhism teaches us a different truth. Your worth isn't tied to what others have or do. Your path is yours alone, and comparing it to someone else's dims its unique beauty. Instead of envy, what if you met others' successes with compassion? Their joy doesn't take away from yours. It's a reminder that happiness is possible for everyone, including you. Compassion over comparison starts with seeing our shared humanity. Everyone struggles, doubts, and dreams just like you. That person with the perfect life. They face their own challenges, even if you can't see them. When you recognize this, comparison softens into understanding. Try this. Next time you feel jealous, pause and silently wish that person well. May they be happy. May they be at peace. This simple act shifts your heart from lack to connection. It's not about ignoring your own goals, but about releasing the need to measure them against someone else's. Your journey is enough as it is. In our fast-paced world, comparison is fueled by a culture that screams, more, better, faster. Social media amplifies it, showing polished snapshots that rarely tell the whole story. Buddhism invites us to step back to question, what am I really chasing? Is it genuine fulfillment or the approval of others? When we live with mindfulness, we start to see through the illusion that happiness lies in outdoing someone else. Instead, we find joy in the present, in a quiet moment with a loved one, in the satisfaction of a task done with care. These moments, not the ones we see on a screen, are where peace lives. Let's make this practical. Think of a time you felt truly happy, not because you outshone someone, but because you were fully present. Maybe it was laughing with a friend or finishing a project that mattered to you. That joy didn't come from comparison. It came from within, from being right where you were. To cultivate this, try a daily practice. Notice when comparison creeps in, maybe when you're scrolling online or hearing about someone's success. Pause, take a breath, and name the feeling. I'm comparing myself. Then shift to gratitude. List 3 things in your life that bring you joy, no matter how small. This rewires your mind to focus on what's yours, not what's missing. Compassion isn't just for others, it's for yourself too. We're often our own toughest critics, judging ourselves for not being enough, successful enough, attractive enough, happy enough. But Buddhism teaches that you're already whole. Self-compassion means meeting your flaws and struggles with kindness, like you would a dear friend. Made a mistake. Instead of spiraling into self-blame, try saying, "I'm learning, and that's okay." Feeling overwhelmed, give yourself permission to rest. This gentleness builds a foundation of peace that no external achievement can match. Try this: write a kind note to yourself as if you were comforting a friend. Read it when you're feeling down. It's a reminder that you deserve your own compassion. This shift from comparison to compassion is transformative. Imagine moving through your day without the weight of not enough. You see a coworker's success and feel inspired, not threatened. You scroll past a flawless Instagram post and smile knowing your life's beauty lies in its realness, not its perfection. This isn't about suppressing ambition. It's about grounding it in purpose, not competition. You can still chase your dreams, but they're yours, not a race against someone else's. Compassion frees you to celebrate your path with all its twists and turns as uniquely yours. Here's a practice to weave into your life. Start your day with a moment of mindfulness. Sit quietly, breathe, and set an intention to meet yourself and others with compassion. When comparison arises, notice it without judgment and gently redirect your focus. Maybe you meditate for 5 minutes, focusing on the mantra, "I am enough, and so are others." Or reflect at day's end. Where did I compare today, and how can I choose compassion tomorrow? These small acts build a habit of presence, softening the sharp edges of envy and self-doubt. This approach ripples outward. When you live with compassion, you become a quiet light in others' lives. Your kindness, your presence, your refusal to judge yourself or others, it inspires. A simple act, like listening deeply to someone's struggles without comparing them to your own, can shift their day. Compassion is contagious, creating a chain of connection that makes the world a little softer, a little brighter. Buddhism reminds us we're all threads in the same tapestry. Your peace, your joy, lifts everyone around you. As we embrace this practice, we start to see that happiness isn't a prize to win or a status to achieve. It's a state of being cultivated by choosing compassion over comparison, presence over distraction. It's about living authentically, not chasing someone else's version of success. The next time you feel the pull of comparison, pause, breathe. Remember, your path is yours and it's beautiful in its own way. With each compassionate choice, you're not just finding peace, you're creating it for yourself and the world. Let's carry this forward, exploring how to let go gracefully, with hearts open to life's flow. We've explored how compassion can free us from the trap of comparison, grounding us in a peace that doesn't depend on outdoing others. Now let's dive into one of the most liberating practices in Buddhism, letting go gracefully. This isn't about giving up or shutting down. It's about opening your heart to life's natural flow, embracing impermanence, anicca, without clinging. In a world that urges us to hold tight to people outcomes, even our own identities letting go feels radical, yet it's the key to unshakable peace. Let's unpack what it means to release with love, not indifference, and how this practice can transform our daily lives into a dance with life's ever-changing rhythm. Imagine holding a delicate bird in your hands. It's beautiful, alive, its wings trembling with the urge to fly. If you grip it tightly, afraid to lose it, you crush its spirit. But if you open your hands, letting it soar, you honor its nature. Life is like that bird moments. People's dreams all come and go. Clinging creates suffering. Letting go creates freedom. Buddhist detachment isn't cold or uncaring. It's a spacious kind of love that says, I cherish you, and I trust you to move as you must. It's about being fully present without needing to control, appreciating without needing to possess. Think about something you're holding on to tightly right now. Maybe a past regret, a fear of change, or an expectation of how life should be. That grip, however subtle, weighs you down. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop fighting reality. Picture a fading relationship. You might cling to how it used to be, replaying memories, or wishing for a different outcome. The pain comes not from the change itself, but from resisting it. Now, imagine softening your hold, saying, I love you, and I let you be. That release doesn't erase the love, it frees you from the suffering of trying to freeze what's meant to move. This practice is especially powerful in our modern world, where we're taught to chase permanence, youth, success, approval. Social media ads, even our own minds, tell us happiness lies in holding on to the perfect moment or version of ourselves. But Buddhism offers a gentler truth. Everything is impermanent, and that's what makes it precious. A sunset is beautiful because it fades. A friendship is sacred because it evolves. When we cling, we miss the beauty of what is chasing, what was, or what might be. Letting go gracefully allows us to savor the moment without needing it to last forever. Here's a practice to try. Reflect on something you're clinging to. A worry, a grudge, an ideal. Sit quietly and visualize it as a leaf in a stream. Watch it float without trying to grab it. Notice how it feels to let it drift. You might journal about it. What am I holding on to? What would happen if I let it go? This isn't about forcing release, but about creating space for it. Maybe you're holding on to a past mistake. Instead of replaying it, try saying, I did my best then, and I'm growing now. This gentle shift loosens the knot, letting peace rise in its place. Letting go is a daily practice, not a one-time act. It's in the small moments, releasing the need to be right in an argument, letting go of frustration when plans change, or accepting that your body is aging. Each release is a step toward freedom. Try this mantra. I release what I cannot hold. I trust life's flow. Say it when you feel resistance creeping in, like when you're stuck in traffic or facing a disappointment. It's a reminder that peace comes not from controlling life, but from moving with it, like a dancer following the music. This practice also applies to how we love others. Often, we cling to people wanting them to stay the same or meet our expectations. But true love in the Buddhist sense is spacious. It allows others to grow, change, even leave without losing its warmth. Imagine a loved one making a choice you don't understand. Instead of trying to change them, you pause and think, I love you and I trust your path. This doesn't mean you agree with everything they do. It means you respect their journey. This kind of love frees both you and them, creating connection without chains. In our busy lives, letting go can feel counterintuitive. We're conditioned to fight for what we want, to hold tight to what we have. But Buddhism teaches that clinging creates suffering, while releasing creates space for new possibilities. Think of a time you let go of something heavy, a grudge, a fear, an old dream. Didn't it feel like a weight lifted? That's the freedom of detachment, not a loss, but an opening. You're not giving up. You're making room for life to breathe, for new joys to bloom. To weave this into your day, try this each morning. Set an intention to notice one moment of clinging. Maybe it's frustration over a delayed project, or sadness over a fading memory. When you spot it, pause, breathe, and ask, Can I let this go just a little? You don't need to release everything at once. Just loosen your grip, like opening your hands a fraction. Over time, these moments of letting go build a habit of peace, a life where you're not dragged by change, but dancing with it. This practice of letting go gracefully is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. It's not about indifference, but about love that trusts presence, that accepts, and courage that releases. As you let go, you'll find that peace isn't something you chase. It's what remains when you stop holding on to what doesn't serve you. You're not losing life. You're living it more fully with open hands and an open heart. Let's carry this forward, exploring how to live with intention, crafting a life of purpose beyond the fleeting measures of success. We've learned to let go, gracefully embracing life's flow without clinging. And now we turn to living with intention, a way of moving through the world with purpose that transcends material success. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to get caught in the whirlwind of routine-chasing goals like money status or approval, only to feel empty when we reach them. Buddhism offers a different path. Living with intention means aligning your actions, thoughts, and choices with what truly matters to you, not what the world demands. It's about waking up each day with a clear heart, asking, how can I live today in a way that feels meaningful? Let's explore how this practice can ground us in purpose and joy, no matter what life brings. Living with intention starts with awareness. We often move through our days on autopilot, rushing to work, checking off tasks, reacting to whatever comes our way. But Buddhism invites us to pause and ask, why am I doing this? Is it habit, fear, or someone else's expectation driving you? Or is it a choice rooted in your values? Intention isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, deliberate choices that shape your life. Think of a moment when you did something purely for joy, maybe cooking a meal with care, or listening deeply to a friend. That feeling of alignment, of being fully present, is what living with intention cultivates. Imagine starting your day with a quiet moment of reflection. You sit with your coffee, take a few breaths, and set an intention. Today, I'll act with kindness and focus on what matters to me. This simple act shifts your mindset, guiding your choices throughout the day. Maybe you're tempted to snap at a coworker, but you pause, remember your intention, and respond with patience instead. Or perhaps you're buried in tasks, but you choose to take a moment to connect with someone you love. These choices, small as they seem, weave a life of purpose where every action reflects who you want to be. Buddhism teaches that our actions create ripples touching the world in ways we may never fully see. A kind word, a moment of presence, a choice to act with integrity. These aren't just personal wins. They shape the energy around you. Think of a time someone's small act of kindness lifted your day, a stranger's smile, a colleague's encouragement. That's the power of intentional living. Your choices, no matter how small, can spark light in others' lives. Try this. Commit to one intentional act each day, like thanking someone sincerely or doing a task with full focus. Notice how it feels to act from purpose, not habit. This practice also means redefining success. Society pushes us to chase external markers, wealth, fame, perfection, but these often leave us hollow. Buddhist wisdom asks us to look deeper. What makes my heart feel full? For some, it's nurturing relationships. For others, it's creating something meaningful or simply finding peace in the present. Living with intention means prioritizing what aligns with your soul, not what looks good on paper. Reflect on this. What's one thing I do that feels truly fulfilling? Maybe it's gardening, helping a friend, or learning something new. Lean into that. It's a clue to your purpose. Let's make it practical. Our days are filled with distractions, endless notifications, to-do lists, the pressure to keep up. Living with intention requires carving out space to check in with yourself. Try this daily practice before bed. Reflect on your day. Ask, where was I intentional today? Where did I act out of habit or fear? Write down one moment where you felt aligned with your values and one where you could have chosen differently. This isn't about judgment. It's about learning about gently steering your life toward meaning. Over time, these reflections build a habit of awareness, helping you live more deliberately. Intention also means embracing impermanence, anicca. Life changes. Plans shift, people grow, opportunities come and go. When we cling to rigid outcomes, we set ourselves up for frustration. But when we act with intention, we focus on the process, not just the result. Imagine working toward a goal like a new job. Instead of fixating on getting it, you focus on doing your best with care and integrity. If it doesn't work out, you're still grounded, because your intention wasn't just the outcome, it was the effort, the growth, the presence. This shift frees you from the ups and downs of external success. Another layer of intentional living is compassion, both for yourself and others. We often push ourselves too hard, chasing perfection or beating ourselves up for mistakes. But intention asks for kindness. I'm doing my best, and that's enough. When you extend this compassion to others, you create connection. Picture a tense moment with a family member. Instead of reacting out of frustration, you pause, set an intention to understand and listen deeply. That choice not only calms the moment, but deepens your bond. Try this when you feel triggered. Take a breath and set an intention to respond with kindness. Notice how it shifts the interaction. Living with intention isn't always easy. It requires courage to slow down in a world that's always rushing. It asks you to face the quiet motives behind your actions. Am I doing this out of love or out of fear? But with practice, it becomes a way of being. Start small. Choose one part of your day, like eating a meal or talking to a colleague, and do it with full presence. Notice the details, the sensations, the connection. Or set a daily intention. Like today, I'll focus on gratitude. These moments of intention build a life that feels rich, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours, lived with purpose. As we carry this forward, we see that intention transforms not just our days, but our entire perspective. It's about choosing to live awake, not asleep, responding to life with clarity instead of reacting on autopilot. The Eightfold Path supports this, guiding us to align our intentions with wisdom and compassion. You're not just surviving, you're shaping a life that reflects your heart. Let's move toward our final reflections, exploring how this journey of presence and purpose unfolds as we age, finding joy in every season of life. As we near the end of this journey through Buddhist wisdom, let's turn to a universal experience: aging. In a world obsessed with youth, aging can feel like a loss. Wrinkles appear, energy shifts, time seems to slip faster. But Buddhism offers a different lens. Aging isn't a decline, but a ripening, a chance to cultivate wisdom, presence, and a deeper kind of joy. Through mindfulness, we can embrace each season of life not as a fading, but as an unfolding of clarity and grace. Let's explore how to age mindfully, finding peace in impermanence, anicca, and discovering that happiness isn't tied to years, but to how fully we live each moment. Aging brings changes, physical, emotional, even mental. A step slows, a memory blurs, or a familiar face in the mirror feels less familiar. These shifts can spark fear or regret, a longing for the vitality of youth. But Buddhism teaches that clinging to what was creates suffering, while embracing what is opens the door to peace. Picture this. You notice a new gray hair, or feel the ache of a joint. Instead of resisting, you pause and think. This is a sign of a life, lived a story, written in my body. This shift from fighting change to honoring it transforms aging into a teacher, not a thief. Mindfulness is the heart of this practice. It invites us to be present with our bodies and minds as they are not as they once were. When we're mindful, we notice the sensations of aging, the stiffness, the slower pace without judgment. We also notice the gifts the wisdom earned through years, the patience honed by experience, the love deepened by time. Try this. Spend a moment each day tuning into your body. Feel your breath, notice any aches or ease, and simply be with it. This practice grounds you in the present, where aging becomes not a loss, but a living process, rich with meaning. As we age, our minds can sometimes feel clouded by regrets about the past or worries about the future. Buddhism reminds us that the only moment we truly have is now. Mindfulness helps us let go of those mental burdens, clearing space for clarity. Imagine reflecting on a past mistake. Instead of dwelling, you breathe and say, "That was then. I'm here now." Or when anxiety about the future creeps in, you remind yourself, "I can only live this moment." Try this practice when worry arises. Write it down. Then ask, "Is this thought about now, or is it pulling me away?" Gently bring yourself back to the present. It's where peace lives. Aging also brings a sharper sense of what matters. The urgency of youth chasing status approval or achievements fades, and we're left with the essentials: love, connection, presence. Buddhism teaches that happiness isn't in external gains, but in the stillness within. As we grow older, this truth becomes clearer. A quiet evening with family, the sound of morning birds, the warmth of a familiar hand, these become treasures. Try cultivating gratitude each day. Note 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. This shifts your focus from what's gone to what's here, revealing an abundance that age can't touch. Compassion is another key to aging gracefully. We often judge ourselves harshly, thinking we haven't done enough or lived perfectly. But Buddhism invites self-compassion. You are enough just as you are. When you feel frail or uncertain, meet yourself with kindness like you would a dear friend. This compassion extends outward too. Aging connects us to others' struggles, fostering empathy. Try this when you feel critical of yourself. Pause and say, "I'm human and I'm learning." Or offer a kind gesture to someone else, a smile, a listening ear. These acts weave a web of connection, making aging a shared human journey. Let's talk about impermanence again, because it's the heartbeat of this teaching. Aging reminds us that everything changes: bodies, relationships, seasons. Resisting this creates suffering. Embracing it creates freedom. Picture a tree in autumn, its leaves falling. It's not dying, it's letting go, preparing for new growth. You are that tree, shedding what no longer serves you to make space for wisdom and peace. Try this mantra. I flow with life's changes. I find joy in this moment. Say it when you feel resistance to aging. It's a reminder that every stage of life is sacred. Mindfulness also keeps us young in spirit. Studies show it reduces stress, boosts memory, and even strengthens the immune system. but beyond science, it keeps us awake to life. Whether you're 30 or 80, mindfulness lets you savor the present, the taste of a meal, the laughter of a child, the quiet of dawn. Try this daily practice. Sit for 5 minutes focusing on your breath or the sounds around you. If your mind wanders, gently return. This simple act sharpens your awareness, keeping your spirit vibrant no matter your age. As we age, we may feel time speeding up, but mindfulness slows it down. It turns fleeting moments into lasting treasures. Reflect on this. What makes me feel alive right now? Maybe it's a hobby, a conversation, or simply being. Lean into that. It's where your joy lives. Aging isn't about losing youth. It's about gaining presence, about seeing life with eyes wide open. Each wrinkle, each memory is a testament to your journey, not a flaw, but a story. This journey, through Buddhist wisdom, understanding suffering, letting go, living with intention, aging mindfully, isn't a destination. It's a path you walk every day, breath by breath. Happiness isn't a prize waiting at the end. It's what you cultivate in each moment. You don't need a perfect life or a youthful body to find peace. You need only presence, compassion, and the courage to flow with life's changes. As you move forward, carry this truth: you are enough right now. Your light, your choices, your presence, they ripple outward, touching the world in ways you may never see. So keep walking, keep breathing, and let each moment be a return to the peace within you.